Hello sports lovers, welcome to Met Sports TV. In today's episode, I'm bringing you my dream fighter. I have chosen 7 categories in which I'll bring you fighters whom best represent each category. So the first category I'll talk about is the boxing IQ. When it came down to the boxing IQ, upon research and going into the archives, I chose 2 fighters. That is Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather, but ultimately I picked Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. has a great boxing IQ, having a rich amateur background, winning bronze in the Olympics. He says he was given bronze. He did not win it, he was given. So his level of adaptation in his career, he has fought the likes of Arturo Gatti, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Marquez, Sugar Shane Mosley. So this guy has competed with the top elites and has beaten them to the scale. No matter the style they brought, he was able to adapt and impose his ring generalship on them. So when it comes to IQ, I think Floyd has a better IQ than any other fighter. The second category I'll talk about is speed. When it came to speed, I chose 3 fighters: Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones Jr., and Muhammad Ali. The ultimate pick went to Muhammad Ali. He's a bigger guy, but yet he was fast on his foot. He had great footwork. He had great jab. He was quicker than all his opponents. Just like he used his speed to beat the likes of Sonny Liston. Now let's continue. Ali beat him because Sonny Liston, as at that time, has beaten Floyd Patterson twice, and he used his skill and speed to beat Floyd Patterson. He beat the likes of Joe Frazier twice, then Big George Foreman. So Ali had speed more than any other fighter, in my opinion. In the third category is footwork. When it came to footwork, Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Vasily Lomachenko, I ultimately picked Vasily Lomachenko. This guy has had over 300 amateur fights, so his footwork is so exceptional. He has faced the likes of Ray Gendal, Ray Linares, Luke Campbell, who is a silver Olympic medalist, and he has beaten them with his footwork. 1 minute you think he's here, the next minute he's right at your left side. So he was even able to dance around the likes of Linares, who is a very, very sound fundamental guy, and Ray Gendal, whose even footwork is at the top. And Ray Gendal, we all know, is a product of the Cuban Boxing Academy, so he is very exceptional. But Vasily Lomachenko was able to dance around him, control the pace of the fight with his footworks and his movement. So I pick him as my ultimate fighter when it comes to footwork. The next category is the jab. And the jab, 2 fighters came to mind, both heavyweights, Larry Holmes Jr. and Lennox Lewis. I ultimately picked Larry Holmes Jr. because he was quicker with his jab. Though Lewis had a good jab, he wasn't quick with it. But Larry was very quick with his jab, even to the twilight of his career, where he beat the likes of Butter B. But in his prime, he beat the likes of Ali Bebek, who later became a world heavyweight champion and later knocked out by Iron Mike Tyson. Then Leon Spinks, who had beaten Ali. If you check our part 1 of the upsets in boxing, that fight was included. Larry Holmes beat him. So Larry Holmes had a great jab. He's a kind of guy who believes he can win a fight with his jab. So he keep hitting you and moving around, hits and move, hit and move. Now, the 5th category I'll bring to you is the chin, and I chose Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin has neither been knocked down as an amateur or a pro. He has never tasted the canvas, but he has faced the likes of Derevyanchenko, Danny Jacobs, Canelo, who are good knockout punchers, but all of them could not even drop him to the canvas. So with the chin, I chose him because he has never been down in his boxing career, and rumors has it that he has never even touched down, even in sparring. That is just training. he never touches down. So I chose Gennady Golovkin. When it came to the 6th category, which is the heart, no one beats Manny Pacquiao. Though Arturo Gatti came close, he has fought the likes of Ward, Floyd Mayweather, but the heart of Manny Pacquiao to keep coming back anytime he loses, comes back and win a world championship. No one does that. And he's the only boxer who has the heart to have even gone 8 divisions and won a world title in all. He has beaten bigger guys like Miguel Cotto, Margarito, Oscar de la Hoya, and Marquez. They are of the same size, but he has beaten Marquez 2 times, though Marquez knocked him out in their last episode. But he came back, won a world title. He has beaten younger guys like Keith Thurman, Matisse, Timothy Bradley twice. So this guy always keeps coming back and winning world titles. That shows you the heart he has in him. He has the heart of a lion. The next category is defense. And when it comes to defense, who comes to mind? Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Right? Sorry, I did not choose Floyd. I choose the late Pernell Whitaker. I first witnessed Pernell Whitaker about 8 years ago when I rewatched his fight with the Professor Azuma Nelson. I was amazed at the level of skill this guy showed, because Azuma Nelson is a great legend who has great fundamentals and skill. For him to be overwhelmed by Pernell Whitaker's defense, wow, it marveled me. The likes of Oscar de la Hoya were also marveled by Pernell's defense. Is that type that he dodges. He doesn't block. He swerves the punch. He's here, then the punch passes here. That was the kind of defense he had. So fantastic, so light on his feet. So with defense, I went with Pernell Whitaker. Now power. Power took me some time, because DGG has power, Deontay Wilder has power, Julian Jackson has power, Iron Mike Tyson has power, but I went with Iron Mike Tyson. This guy destroyed a lot of opponents with just a single punch. So there was no way I could bypass Iron Mike Tyson. So these are my ideal fighters. Boxing IQ, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Speed, Muhammad Ali. Footwork, Vasily Lomachenko. Jab, Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. Chin, Gennady Golovkin, GGG. Heart, Manny Pacquiao. Defense, Pernell Whitaker. And power, Iron Mike Tyson. Thank you for watching. Stay positive. Au revoir. Kindly subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Med Sports Television. Then on Instagram, Med_Sports_TV. Then on Twitter, Med_Sports_TV. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate it. Au revoir.